So we have our stomata data tables here. Here's the one for light. Here's the one for dark. And if you want to expand these cells, you can go up and click here. You'll see the white cross turns into this two arrows with a line in the middle, and that'll expand it to match the size of whatever text you have in here. But anyway, like I was doing in class, for some of you, if you want to make it add together these two cells, you just click here and you type in equals, because that's how you write an Excel function, is with an equal sign. Equal sum, and then open parentheses, and then you select the data that you want to add together. All right, so we'll do that again, equal sum, because that's our function, and then you type in an open parentheses to tell Excel, hey, I'm going to put some data here, and you need to sum up these data, and you hit return, and it should be adding these things together for you. You can also say equal sum F8, because as you can see here, this datum lives in column F, row 8. And we're going to say comma G8 because we want to add together the stuff that's in F8 here and G8 here. The other thing you can do is you can click on this cell and you can go to the bottom right hand corner until the white cross turns into a black cross, and you can just drag that down and it will bring the appropriate formulae with you. You see it's summing together these two things. Zoom out a little bit so we can see, and if you double click on it, it'll show you exactly what it's adding together by highlighting it. All right, so we can do the same thing over here for our totals here. We're going to say equals, because that's how you write an Excel function. You start with an equal sign. The function we want to use is sum. We want to sum two things together. We'll say open parentheses, and we'll just select these two data here. Okay, we'd say equals sum, open parentheses, select these two pieces of data. You could also say equals sum and then specify it by hand. So we're going to say L9, or L8, comma M8. You can also just make the white cross turn into a black cross, click and drag down, and that should do everything for you. The other interesting thing with Excel is you can just select these formulae and paste them here, and everything will go right along with it. So this is the right formula. It actually Excel knows what you want it to do. So the next thing we need to do is calculate the percent open for each of these fields, and you should remember that percent open is the number total open, or I'm sorry, the number open divided by the total. So in this case, this is going to be equals G6, and you can see it's highlighting that cell there, divided by E6. So it's the one highlighted in blue divided by the one highlighted in red. And there you have it. It's just dividing those two things. You could also say equals, and then you could click this one here because you're going to take this one and divide it by this one. So you click on this one here, you put the slash for divided by, you click on the total, you hit return. And just like before, you can go to the bottom right-hand corner, make the white X turn into a black X, and just drag down. All right, we need to do the same thing for the dark ones. So we're going to say equals M6 divided by K6, because that's where that datum lives. So M6 divided by K6, 6% or something like that. And again, you can also go to the bottom right-hand corner and drag down. It'll bring the formulae with it. Or you can just take the ones you wrote over here, copy them, paste them over. It gets the right thing. It does it correctly. So the next piece of the equation here is calculating some summary statistics for these different tables. So we need to know our average percent open for our light. So we're going to double click here and we're going to say equals. And the formula to figure out the average is average. This is written in your lab as mean, but we're calculating the average for these. It's the same thing, but Excel understands this function is average, not mean. Hit return, and we have like 79% open stomata here. We're going to do the same thing for our dark. We're going to say equals average, open parentheses, and we'll say N6 through N11. You could have also done it like this. You could have just said equals average and then went over here and selected these. It does the same exact thing. The next thing we're going to do is calculate our sample standard deviation, which is equals STDEV, open parentheses, and we're just going to select all this data here. If your computer is going to force you to pick one of the standard deviations, it's going to be STDEV.S, or the sample standard deviation, but hopefully you'll be able to just leave it as STDEV. Should be okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing for dark, STDEV, open parentheses, click these, hit return, and then there you have it. There's your standard deviations for your dark data. And again, these are points that I've made up. Don't copy down my actual data here because it's wrong. So now I'm just gonna, we need to insert a chart. So I'm gonna select these 4 boxes here with my light averages and my dark averages. We haven't selected our standard deviations yet. And I'm gonna go up to insert. This should be the same. Everything should have been exactly the same on Mac or PC to this point. I'm gonna try to get a hold of a Mac if I can, so I can make a video for that too. But everything should have been the same. You're gonna go up to insert and you're gonna click recommended charts. And Excel knows we want a clustered column chart, which is fantastic. The other way you could do this is if you forget like where to go for that, you can select this all and you click tell me what you want me to do up here in the little help thing, and type in chart and you go create chart and it takes you to pretty much the same spot. And there you go. So here is a chart. We do not want a title. That's according to the data presentation rubric. We do not want these vertical axes either. Or I'm sorry, horizontal axes either. All right, so we have these 2 averages plotted here, but we still need those error bars. So if you were on a Mac, you're going to go up to here somewhere. I think it's actually going to be over here. And it's going to be like chart layout or something like that. And you're going to find the thing that says error bars. And once you've found that thing that says error bars, we should be exactly the same from that point on. So it's up here somewhere on a Mac. It's chart elements or chart layout, depending on which version you have. But we'll continue on with this PC one. I'm going to click the little plus, and I'm going to go down to error bars and click that. And you might think, oh, cool, there are error bars now. We're done, but we aren't because Excel just made those numbers up. Those are not good numbers. So let's do this one more time. Click on your chart, you click the plus sign, you click error bars, you click this arrow pointing to the right, you go down to more options, and you need to make sure that you are in error bar options. You don't want to be in effects, you don't want to be fill in line, you want to be in error bar options. All right. So the next thing you're going to do is go down to the bottom here, make sure this custom circle is clicked, and then you're going to click on specify value. At this point, this should be the same in Mac or PC, and it should look similar to this on either system. So you're going to click on this thing next to positive error value, and then you're just going to click on your data point and drag it over. You need to be holding the mouse button down and drag this over to get both of those. And we're going to do the same thing for our negative error value. You're going to click here, and you're going to drag it over and hit enter. Then if you hit enter again, there you go. It has our appropriate error bar values on here. We still need a few more things on this, but we're almost there. So I'm going to go back to the plus. Again, for Mac folks, it's going to be chart layout. If you don't, or if I'm wrong, or if you don't know exactly how to do this, it's okay to just go to Google and figure out, well, how do I add axis titles to a chart? For me, it's pretty simple. I just click axis titles here on this little chart elements thing, and there you go. We're almost there. So here for axis title, we don't want to call it axis title. We want to call it like light condition, or you could call it light treatment maybe. Let's just call it light condition. Up to you, whatever you want to do, but it needs to be informative. This one was in the light, this was in the dark. And then over here, we're actually going to type in average percent open stomata, because that's what we have over there on the y-axis. We're almost finished, so still over here, if you go ahead and click on your chart again, you're going to want to go to fill in line, and for the border we want no line. That is in your data presentation rubric. You do not want a border around um, uh, your graphs, your charts. So you click no line for the border. The next thing you're going to do is just open up a Word doc. Wait for Word to get going here so we can finish this thing off. Computer's a little slow. I'm just going to go blank document. All right, you don't need any of this, but so we have our blank document here. I'm going to go back to Excel. I'm going to click on our chart and I'm going to copy it. So you can, I'll just do it up here so you can see it. You click copy. You can press Control-C, whatever your favorite method is. You're going to copy it. And then we're just going to go back to Word. And now we can just paste in our chart here. So what you're going to have is a figure legend. Actually, it should be figure 1 now that I think about it. Figure 1, and you're going to say some stuff about this graph. You should be a 1 to 2 sentence explanation of actually what it is that you're graphing here. Please check out the rubric for all this information. You should also have an interpretation where you say some stuff about the experiment and you know what you did, and you need to answer those questions that are specified in the lab document itself.